Are saunas really good for you? Now, I've been looking at saunas for a couple years, digging into the research and watching them, and here is my answer: absolutely. In fact, I'm going to give you 7 amazing benefits of heat therapy. There's different ways you can do that, but I'm going to tell you too, wait for number 7, it is a game changer. So here's number 1. What is the biggest killer in America? Cardiovascular disease, and saunas help that. Here's 16 studies where they reviewed them, and they found that 2 to 4 times a week improves cardiovascular health, especially blood pressure. And they found, as I'll show you, that blood pressure goes down with just 1 or a few sessions. It also makes the heart pump faster and gets the ejection fraction up. We know that 92% of all Americans have suboptimal cardiometabolic health, and a lot of people need help with their blood pressure. Regular heat therapy shown to reduce hypertension, help cardiovascular disease, even help dementia and respiratory problems. So lots of good benefits. Here's a study where they looked at people with diabetes, heart disease, and other risk factors, and they found that just 4 sessions, 15 to 20 minutes, improved their health. Number 2, decreased inflammation. Now, if you've been following me, you know inflammation is the root of almost every disease. So we need to have inflammation under control. HSCRP is one of the lab tests used to measure inflammation. And what they found was that if you use a sauna, HSCRP goes down, which means inflammation is going down in your body. Number 3, eliminating toxins. Now that makes sense. When you sweat, you eliminate toxins. It used to be a little controversial. Do toxins really go out in the sweat? But now there's no doubt. They have measured the toxins, and some toxins are actually preferentially excreted when we sweat. Number 4, heat shock proteins. Now this may not be familiar to you, so I want to talk about this just a little bit. Heat shock proteins are a group of proteins that protect your cells from heat and stress. And when you do a sauna, they found that just 10 sessions over three weeks increases your heat shock proteins, which can improve muscle mass and it can improve immune function. In my longevity series, I talk about the markers of aging, and one of the markers is loss of proteostasis. That means instead of your proteins being folded correctly in your body, they get folded incorrectly. And that incorrect folding makes you grow old, makes you feel old, makes you look old very quickly. Misfolded proteins cause cell dysfunction and tissue damage. Neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's, ALS, and even cystic fibrosis and certain cancers. And misfolded proteins actually can become toxic and cause other proteins to become toxic and can eventually kill your cells and help them to not function correctly. So increasing our heat shock proteins helps prevent all of this. We need to heat our body up. Number 5, well, this is going to excite some of you, a substitute for exercise? Question mark. I don't think so, but it does some of the same things. When you heat your core temperature up 1 degree, your heart rate goes up 10. So if you heat it up 3 degrees, you got a 30 beat per minute increase in your heart rate. It's kind of like exercise. It does some similar things. And what I'm going to tell you is you need both. How about weight loss? Now there's lots of claims out there. I tried to sort through them. And we do know that when you're in a sauna, it increases your metabolic rate and it increases your pulse, so you are burning more calories. So it does support weight loss. And how many calories? Well, there's some controversy on this. I think 200 to 300 calories for a 30-minute session is probably reasonable. So that means it can help you lose 20 to 30 pounds in a year if you're a regular sauna user. 2 more. We're waiting for the big one. Number 6, boost immune function. We know that white blood cells, your defense system, increase when you're doing sauna. We also know that the natural killer cells, now these are the biggies, we need to fight off bad things in our body, they increase when you do sauna as well. And here's number 7, decreased mortality. And I'm not just talking about a little bit, I'm talking about a lot. A 63% reduction in cardiovascular deaths and a 40% reduction from all causes of mortality. So very significant improvements when you use sauna. So how do you use heat therapy? Let me give you some suggestions. Frequency of use, I think that the more the better. So 1 to 2 times a week, we get a 23% reduction in cardiovascular deaths. When you go to every other day, you double that. The more sessions seem to be better, and the longer duration seems to be better to a point. So 15 to 20 minutes isn't really enough. It's enough to start, but as you get going, you want to bump that up to 30. And generally, I don't think you ever need to go over 45 minutes in a sauna. And what is the absolute best protocol? Combined therapies. Do everything together. Here's a study where they had a group doing exercise, diet, and hot bath. Now, hot bath isn't the best example because that's not going to heat your core up that much. But if you don't have anything else, do a hot bath. Or diet and exercise, or just a hot bath, or the control group. And which groups did the absolute best? The ones that combined everything. So the saunas are just meant to be a part of a healthy program. When you combine exercise with a sauna, you get a greater reduction in blood pressure. So combination's always better, and you get a significant improvement in blood pressure with just 30 minutes in a sauna. Regular, frequent use helps almost everything. Look at this list. All kinds of problems. Arthritis improves, musculoskeletal problems. So we know that the cholesterol and lipids improve, inflammation goes down, there's less free radical in your body, your artery stiffness even improves with sauna, cardiorespiratory function improves, immune function, you get a boost in nitric oxide. Now nitric oxide is what improves your sex life, and an improvement in blood pressure. So lots of things. We know the mechanistic pathways. We know exactly how they cause the improvements that they cause, and that list continues to grow. And we also know that if you combine therapies, you get an even bigger boost. What's the temperature in your sauna need to be? At least 110. Now, if you have surface contact with something that's 116 degrees, you're going to burn your skin. So you can't have bathtubs that hot. If you're in a jacuzzi, it's usually 100 or 102 degrees, so that's really not going to heat it up as well. But just air temperature, you can get it up to 140 to 210 degrees and not be uncomfortable. Now, the higher it is, the more uncomfortable it gets. So what's some low-cost options for heat therapy? Hot shower or bath, that'd kind of be the introductory, and you're not going to get enough heat, in my opinion. Or sit in a hot car on a sunny day. Now my son actually loves sauna, and he doesn't have one where he's going to school in Minneapolis, so he has done this, and his car gets up to 140 degrees. So it's pretty much like a sauna. Or now they have sauna sleeping bags that increase your core temperature. My son has one of these as well, and he said he can get to 170 degrees with his sleeping bag. So those are lower cost options. If you're going to do any of these, especially the sleeping bag, check them out. Make sure you get a good one that doesn't have high EMF. Well, what about the traditional saunas or the infrared saunas? Well, the thing they have in common is they are both beneficial. They both improve mitochondrial function, which gives you more energy. The traditional work by just heating up your body. There's a heater in a room, and the room gets hot, and they'll usually run it pretty high, like up to 210 degrees. The infrared works differently. Now we're using infrared light to heat your body. And because of that, that infrared light actually heats deeper. It goes deep and it heats your core temperature quicker, so you don't need as high a temperature. These can be run at 140 degrees and have the same benefit as the higher temperature on the others. So they both have benefits, they're both good. The infrared ones tend to be a little more comfortable because you don't have to have the high temperature. And they also, because of the wavelengths of light that you can choose, have additional benefits. Now, I was impressed enough over a year ago that I said I am going to get an infrared sauna, and I got one from Sunlighten, which I think is the best company out there. They've got a great product and a great price. And here's some tips. If you're going to use an infrared sauna, here's what I want you to do. Go slow and go low. So lower temperature and not as long to kind of ease into it. For the time, keep it below 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week. I think that is as adequate. Now the temperatures, if it's an infrared, it can be anywhere from 110 to 140 to get benefits. I personally like to push it up to 160 and get even a little more. You got to stay hydrated because you're going to sweat a lot. You're going to be drenched when you get out, and that's very good for you. So replenish those fluids and make sure you rinse off after. Now, why would you have to rinse off? Yes, you just got all those toxins out there sitting on your skin. You don't want them to be reabsorbed again. And a cool shower to close your pores is great. And what to wear, anything that's comfortable, light clothing or a towel is great. I contacted Sunlighten and I said, I want to give my people that follow me a deal. You give me a deal and I will connect them with you. So if you're interested in an infrared sauna, on my website in the My Favorite Sauna tab on the very second to the right there, I've got a link that gets you a special deal in some way or another. With exercise or any of these other things, I want you to heat your body and get the benefits of heat therapy.